Hello and welcome to Shave&Butcher. You know, if you're interested in starting to shave with straight razor type razors, nothing to stop you. You could actually start doing that tomorrow or as soon as the post office delivers products to you, because it's pretty easy to order what you need online. I think pretty much anywhere in the world. You can get a straight razor, of course, but then that requires more maintenance. I love my straight razors, so I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you need a strop, which costs a bit of money. You may want to start learning to hone, etc., which I don't do, but most proper straight razor shavers, they do. But you could actually start with what is called a Shave&Butcher or something similar to that. This is one I borrowed from my friend Matti Lindholm. I've used it before on this channel. It's $15–20. It takes half a double-edged razor blade, and this is called Korenai. There's loads of them. Fancy, less fancy. I'm not a Shave&Butcher expert, in my opinion. You could shave with a lot of things. These are essentially blade holders, and some are more glorified than others. And you need a soap or a shaving cream. So I'll shave today, and I'll use this Shave&Butcher. I'll use a normal shaving cream. This is Bulgarian. There's loads of them. You can pick them up at your grocery store. You can use canned foam, canned goo, we call it, which is fine. Barbasol, Gillette, do that sort of thing. Just gonna wet my face a bit. But for the same money, in other words, not a lot of money, you can just pick up one of these. And it's not a foam, it's a gel or a cream, and you either build a bit of a lather in your face. You can use a brush, which I have somewhere here, shaving brush. Well, this cream actually doesn't lather very much, but you could do that. Or you could just work up a lather or whatever the product does in your face. This, as I said, this one, no matter how you try, doesn't build up a big lather, but you can build up a lather. You can also choose just to whack it around your face. Make sure it isn't too dry. I keep putting my fingers in water just to see if I can make it really slippery, because that's essentially all you want. The soap, the purpose of the soap is to make your skin slippery. It also does a few other things to the whiskers, but never mind that. It should be slick enough to provide a glide so that your razor moves easily across your skin. So you pick one of these up at your local store, or you buy something fancy. You purchase one of these. These are difficult to find in stores, but you basically just need some kind of a blade holder, and you can use double-edged razors, of course. There's a lot of videos on that. Now, shaving with one of these isn't all that easy. It's easy to cut yourself a bit. I have loads of practice. I've been doing this for about 5 years. But I still cut myself. I might today, just a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. A little bit of blood. Unless, can you see the hair in there? Unless it's deep, is okay. You heal quickly, most people do. So while shaving with one of these isn't super easy, and you do need practice, but there's shitloads of YouTube videos out there, getting started is easy and quick and not very expensive. If you pick up one of these, let's say you spend $20 on a Shave&Butcher style razor, and you spend almost nothing on the blades, because per shave basically almost doesn't cost anything. you save money pretty quickly. Now, if you're like me and some of my friends on YouTube, you can get stuck and you can become, you know, a hobbyist. So you start collecting stuff, you start trying different razors, different soaps, different brushes out, different blades, and you start collecting, and that's fine, but you don't have to. If you're not interested in that, you can just pick one of these up and start shaving. There you go. Some people say, well, let's say some people prefer straight razors, the traditional ones where you don't have a replaceable blade, but where you have to keep the edge sharp all the time. And that's pretty cool. Gives a good shave. It's a bit more expensive. The pieces are expensive. And as I said, you need a strop to keep the edge sharp. Or you can use one of these, or you can alternate. And if you don't know if you're really gonna be interested in it, you can start with one of these. But you don't want to make the mistake of starting with a Chevette, thinking it's easier to use than a straight razor, because it isn't. It's rather almost the opposite. Or let's say they're similar, but they do the same thing. A Chevette is generally cheaper. You can find your favorite blade. The blade is always sharp, and if it isn't sharp anymore, you just replace it, so you don't have to worry about honing, etc. I still very much like, this is the first pass, which I do mainly with the grain, with the growth, so in the same direction as the hair grows. If you're really looking for a super smooth shave, you can do multiple passes. So I'll just do a second one where I go mainly against the grain, against the growth. This is not a shaving related injury. It's garden related, so don't worry. A lot of people do 3 passes, so they do one with the growth, one across and one against, etc. Many ways to do it. I typically do 2 passes. One direction, the other direction, and sometimes when I'm feeling lucky, I do pickups. So I go over the skin and see where it could be better, where I've kind of missed out a bit. Before an everyday shave, the 1 pass I just did, or 2 passes, so doing the second one is plenty. So if you know what you're doing and you want to have a quick shave in the morning before you go to work, for example, or you shave in the evening when you have more time. I do a bit of both, but I generally shave in the evening where I have a lot of time. So I take my time prepping the face, preparing a soap with a brush, using different aftershaves, you know, all of a bit of a spa thing, which is fine if you're interested in that. And that's something you can do sometimes. And sometimes you want to just shave efficiently in the morning or in the evening or whenever, and then you do it pretty quickly. Now, as I said, if you haven't shaved with a straight razor type razor before, it's gonna take a bit of time. But getting started is dead easy, and you don't need a lot of fancy stuff. And you don't need a brush. Brush is fun, I think, because you create your lather and you play around with it. I think generally it's a bit better. But you, again, just use a soap or a cream rather. You can use foam in a can. Barbasol is common in the US, for example. Just spreading that out a bit, adding a touch of water just to keep it wet and well lubricated so it glides easily. And you know, this isn't very pretty. This isn't the Santa Claus type leather. Oops, I might have cut myself there. Shouldn't be talking while shaving, really. That's fine, and that's a lot of fun. But to get started, you don't have to try and make those lathers. That takes time and practice too. The people who make the pretty big lathers, they've been practicing a lot. It doesn't come automatically. But it's a fun hobby. And even if you don't make it into a hobby, it's just a more interesting way to shave. Most of us, we don't have a beard. We need to shave daily or quite often. And a lot of us think it's not very exciting. But using one of these makes it interesting, not too dangerous, and fun, you know, it's fun. So that's me done with 2 passes, with the grain and against the grain. So I basically have no hair left. And I managed to use a soap, a cheap soap, which provides so much glide that even now when I'm trying to wash it off, still creates a bit of lather. So I'll do it down here for a sec. Hang on. Nice, pretty quick. Now, one thing I do recommend, and I would say regardless of what kind of skin you have, I'm gonna open this up, is to put some kind of aftershave onto your face. It could be a liquid one with alcohol that burns a bit if you like that. You can have one with scent, one without scent. What I typically want from an aftershave is to re-moisture the skin, moisturize the skin. Today I'm using not even a specific aftershave product, but a simple face moisturizer. This one is Swedish, from Nobru. And that just brings the skin back to what it was before the shave. Because all the soaps will dry out your skin a little bit. Some almost nothing, but most of them will. So why not? My skin's never been better since I started using this method of shaving, and since I started using products like creams and moisturizers on my skin. That's it. If you want to do it, if you want to try it, you could start tomorrow. Just look online, get your basic product, which in this case was a shavette. You need some blades, dead easy to order online as well, and you need some kind of cream or soap to make sure your skin is nice and slick when you put the steel to it. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I hope a few of you do pick up this method of shaving, or at least try it out. It's fun. Why not? Give it a go. Thanks for watching and stay sharp.